September 2014, a quiet neighborhood in Venice, California, became the setting for a harrowing ordeal that one woman would never forget. Melora Rivera, an aspiring actress and writer, was in her home when her life took an unexpected turn. It was an ordinary day, and she had just settled into bed when she heard an unusual noise coming from downstairs. At first, she thought it might be the wind or a neighbor. That's when the reality hit her. Someone had broken into her home. Estelle sat in her home, sitting on a large, clustered throw, immensely unsettling. Both her and her neighbor then heard the intruder, later identified as 29-year-old Christian Hicks, was a local man known in the area as being homeless and struggling with mental health issues. Hicks had forced his way into Melora's house, leaving her with no time to think. Acting purely on instinct, she grabbed her phone and climbed out of her second-story window, finding herself on the sloped roof of her home. The rooftop became both her refuge and her trap. Melora crouched under a small overhang, clutching her phone as she dialed 99911. Her heart raced as she tried to remain as quiet as possible. But what made this moment even more terrifying was what happened next. Hicks followed her onto the roof. A now famous photograph captured the scene. Melora huddled under the eave, her body pressed against the shingles, while Hicks loomed ominously behind her. The contrast between the bright blue sky and the dire situation unfolding below was chilling. Police officers responded swiftly. Within minutes, the street was filled with flashing lights and sirens. Firefighters arrived with a ladder to rescue Melora from her precarious position, while law enforcement officers climbed onto the roof to apprehend Hicks. The ordeal ended without physical harm, but the emotional scars left a lasting impact.
Once I saw him in the house, I knew that we both couldn't be there. I knew that I didn't want to have a confrontation with him of any sort, not knowing what his intention was. My biggest fear that he was going to be forced by the cops to come hiding, basically the same place I was hiding.